can sum up the show for you with one word. Nothing. Nothing? Nothing.
Everybody's doing something. We'll do nothing. I still don't know what the idea is.
This is the show, and we're not gonna change it.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to episode 30 of This Is the Show. I'm one of your hosts, live and in color, Alex Webb.
I'm the other one, Casey McGowan.
Oh
boy. Oh boy.
Man,
look at this.
We did it. I don't
Look
know
at
how
you.
we did it. Look at you. You look beautiful.
Don't look at me. I hate when people look at me.
I'm looking right at you. I can't stop looking at you.
Well, that's the thing. We brought this up on the cast before, but when we had a listener write in and say this, and they said that they can't stand when they're in a work meeting. All they do is look at themselves, thinking about what they're looking like. So my whole plan for tonight's episode is to be looking at you.
I'm looking directly at you. I haven't even blinked yet, and the viewers can vouch. I haven't blinked yet. That's my superpower.
Try to see if he's gonna blink. He's not blinking. For the folks listening.
Oh, I blinked. I felt it. Shit.
Ah.
As a reflex. It's hard to. Anyways, we're doing the video. We said it. We said we were going to do it. And unlike most things in our life, we actually did what we said we were going to do.
This is the first thing that I've ever been like, I'm doing it, and now I'm doing it. It feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, because like technically, I wouldn't really count the podcast as something that we said we were going to do, and then we did it because we said we were going to do it for like 2 years, and then like eventually we got around to it. But this, but it's because we had the pressure of the people,
Yeah.
We said episode 30, that's going to be and it's October 1st. Happy fall.
Woo! It's fucking, look at this. Now that we got video, take a look at this. You got yourself in New York. You got yourself a cool 66 degrees out. How about that, folks?
That is pretty impressive. What do we have here? We've got,
oh boy.
What's that? 82?
Ooh, that's not fun.
I might open up the windows. That's kind of cool, man.
Yeah. 82 is pretty low for Arizona, for the desert, for like what 82, you usually say.
Yeah. That's comfortable. That's like comfortable temps. And I mean, it's getting down to what, 60, 63, the low 63. So
it's pretty good.
It's lovely.
That's pretty good.
Okay. So just real quick, because we're going to spiral out and we're going to talk about God knows what. I just wanted to say this up top. I started watching The Sopranos for the very first time. Okay. I haven't ever watched The Sopranos.
Hold on.
What?
Hold
what?
on.
Okay,
I thought you were going to be like, all right, before we get into everything, let's plug the YouTube channel. Let's plug.
Oh, yeah.
And
do the
just,
plugs.
And you were just like, so I've been watching The Sopranos. Like, that's going to be an hour. You can't start on that.
That's going to be it's just going to say The Sopranos and other stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Plug the YouTube channel. For
Well,
God's sakes, the YouTube channel.
The YouTube, which right now we're recording it. If you're listening to it, where you normally see us on Spotify, Apple Music, you can go to YouTube. This is the show. We'll link it in the show notes description as well. But yeah, this is where, so you're going to get both. You got the audio, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. But you're also going to get us on YouTube. So if you want to see what we look like, you want to see the different shenanigans, you want to look at, Casey's electric drum kit. I got the candle going. It's the whole thing. Casey's got the big water.
Folks have been here about it. So now you have to hear me drink out of it.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what we're doing. The art's going to kind of trickle in. Like I created the banner for the YouTube profile. I'll have like a couple of quick thumbnails, but it's going to develop over time with like some nice frames and whatnot. So yeah, it's going to be good. I'm excited about it.
We'll also probably get me and Alex might get matching neon signs to go on the back of the wall.
That's
right
a must.
Here.
Yeah, that's a must for sure. Cause I'm in my empty ass, office, right? Eventually bookshelves are going to go over here, but wouldn't that be just so lovely? Just a fat old neon sign right here above me, above Casey. This is the show, That
way I could turn this thing off. This little light. Here's a little backstory about this light, folks. When I first moved to New York and I got my first apartment in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, we've talked about this. Yeah. I needed a lamp for my room because I had no above light. The main light in the apartment just didn't turn on. You gotta love it. And so I bought that lamp in 2014. So I've had that lamp for 7 years. Traveled with me to every apartment.
That's amazing. Strong lamp. Same light bulb?
Same light bulb. Yeah, dude. Same light bulb.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's good.
I love that, man. LED's crazy, you know?
Yeah, dude.
You hear great stuff about them.
It's the future. But anyways, so this is the show. This is the show podcast or this is the show on YouTube? Which one is it?
I think it's like, I don't know if we have a handle for it, honestly. Like, I don't know if it's youtube.com/. Like, I don't know if it's like that. I gotta look. I'm not 100%.
We'll post it to all of the places for the main people. But
yeah.
Google, like, this is the show episode 30, because that's going to be the title of this one for the YouTube channel, which, by the way, I was thinking about this. How funny is it? Our first video on our YouTube channel is 30 episodes in.
We technically, I actually just went back to the YouTube channel as well. We technically have like a random episode. It might be episode 1 or it's like episode 8. There's just like there's an hour-long audio file with our album art on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, so that's even funnier if it's episode 1 and then episode 30. Like, that's the most Alex and Casey thing I could ever think of.
Yeah, we were like, every week we're gonna post the audio file on a YouTube also, and then we just never did.
No.
We did it that one time though.
We did do it that one time, and
got like 8 views.
Here's the thing. I think that one-time effort, like if you do something once and then never do it again, you still deserve a little bit of credit for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you did it.
You
you tried. Because here's the whole thing. Sorry, I'm like adjusting this audio. It's like all over the place. Because here's the thing. You don't have to succeed at everything, but it's just about trying. Like
sure.
Would I have been an amazing basketball player? Probably not. I'm scraping by at 6 foot, 155 pounds, but I would have loved the shot. I would have loved to try.
Yeah. Well, I'll say
Same idea.
That's like me with work. I go once and I'm like, hey, I tried. That's something, I have one.
And you keep trying. You keep coming back.
I keep coming back. Wow, it drags me back. Here's the problem with
almost
America.
By force.
Ready for this? Here's the problem with the USA. I'll say it. I'll go out on record.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. We should get paid for vacations.
It's called PTO. We literally do that.
All right. don't come at me with your logistics.
We should, about 2 weeks out of the year, we should just get. Although I'll tell you, some companies they do not give you a lot of PTO.
No. I mean, you
like
work for
most
Starbucks.
companies, actually. Yeah.
You work for Starbucks. They're like, we don't even know what that word means. You know what I mean?
PTO. That's just like, yeah, you're off at 8. Like that's your time off.
Are you talking about when you're sleeping? Because that's the time you don't work here. Yeah.
When, at the company you and I both used to work at, we, sometimes they'd have you leave at like 10 p.m. and then they'd have you come in and open at 8. They do the clopen. Have you ever done the clopen before?
And I worked there for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Who am I kidding? But the clopen's like a whole thing. It's like where you go from close and then you got to open the next day. That's like actually brutal for sure.
Well, here's the thing about that. I feel like rotating schedules in general are tough.
Which is like all of retail.
Yeah, you need the set sketch. I used to work that type of life when I was like in high school and college, the whole thing. Even the last job out of
It's them LaCroix, boy.
Oh no, I forgot that we're doing video now. When I do that, people see what I look like.
It's the whole fit, bro. Those dilated pupils.
Don't bring it up. How about this, folks? Alex goes, we're starting our first video cast tonight, and I lean in close to the camera. I'm like trying to be spooky.
And he's like this close to it.
Yeah, and he's like, what do you got, dilated pupils? Here's the truth. You want to know the truth? When I was like, so before we started, I was like, Alex, I got to pee before we start. And he was like, all right. What I really did is I walked out of the room and I Googled dilated pupils.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. But I thought about it.
I'm glad you didn't, though. I'm glad you didn't do that because, yeah, I'm not trying to stress you out over here.
Yeah, and bro, the first thing that comes up when you Google dilated pupils is like extreme death in 3 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shelby showed me this TikTok. Yeah, I mean, for those of you that don't know, I don't know how you couldn't have known if you started episode 1, but Casey and I are like, we're kind of like balanced hypochondriacs. He's kind of like on like the more intense side of the scale. I'm on like the more moderate to easy side of the scale, I guess you could say.
Nice way of putting it.
Yeah, I was really fumbling for the words there. Like, how do I describe it? But Shelby showed me this TikTok of this guy who was like, you could literally prove any, like you could prove your point, like regardless of what your point is, medical, political, whatever, by just Googling it, right? Like you could just say like, does coffee cause blindness? And then there's like 10 articles, and he like literally does this, it's like, does coffee cause blindness? And then it's like 10 articles about how, coffee can affect that. But then he's like, well, let's, reverse it. And then Google, can coffee help with eyesight? And then it's like, top 10, coffee things that could, like improve your eyesight. So it's really just about SEO. It's like however you want to Google, that's, it's like you can get the answer you're looking for.
It's choose your own adventure.
It is. Yeah. But for medical history, which is really fun.
Yeah. It's the most, I'll tell you what, remember those Goosebumps? Remember Goosebumps? Remember that?
Like the books.
R.L. Stein. Remember that guy?
Yeah. Big Stein.
So, so in those books, I remember as a kid, they'd always have one where it's like choose your own adventure. And like on one of them,
like turn to page 36 to continue that leg of the story. Yeah.
And on usually like, it's like a, whatever. And on one of them, you could like die, but then on the other one, you like live or like you survive or you like beat the whatever. And Googling is choose your own adventure, but it's all just terrible. It's just nothing is good.
No, I don't remember the last time I Googled something and it was like good news, even just like normal news. I think like the last thing might've been like if like a video game review for,
well, then you get a negative review and you're like, oh, right.
But then it's like, for every, it's like 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And then it's like top 5 reasons why this game sucks ass. And it's like, Jesus.
Well, that just happened on, dude. That's like the number one thing with like entertainment reviews. We'll get to the Sopranos. I'm sorry. This is my fault.
That's all right.
But well, think about the Sopranos, right? A lot of people are watching the Sopranos right now. It's not just you. I'm not trying.
Really?
I'm not trying to say you're not original for watching this.
Why is everybody watching the Sopranos right now?
Well, I just saw a thing where it's like everybody's rewatching it because the movie's coming out. They got like a movie.
What movie?
They have like a Sopranos movie coming out this Friday.
Am I just like in tune? I had no idea. I'm looking at HBO Max. It's like 10 p.m. I'm thumbing through. I'm like, do I watch Lord of the Rings for the actual 1,000th time? Or do I watch Harry Potter for the 1,000th time? And then I was like, I got to watch something else. But, and you're not a big TV guy, so this might be hard to connect with. But it's like, I wanted something that I could just like watch for like 30 hours and be in that world, right? Where it's like not Rounders for 30 hours. I'm talking like a continuous story. And so I was like, okay, like I'm finally going to commit to it. I'm going to start watching The Sopranos. And so that's like, I saw that there was a movie coming out I guess that must've been for it. Cause I saw like this little like thumbnail or something for it on HBO Max, but this is all to say, I had no idea that everyone was back into it. Sorry, you were saying.
Well,
about entertainment as a whole. We were talking about reviews.
I was just going to say, well, I almost lost it. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. So the Sopranos
this is the show, folks.
Yeah. Welcome. Episode 30, first video. If we end up on your TikTok algorithm, you'll get it. It takes time. It takes a couple episodes, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
We got listeners. They get it.
But they get it.
So, I lost it again.
Entertainment as a whole, reviews.
Okay. All right. I got
He doesn't have
something about looking at you. I can't look at you because then I forget everything.
What do you start thinking about when you look at me, huh?
Well, I just start laughing. It's just
Why? I got a funny face to you?
No,
huh?
no.
I've been watching The Sopranos, bro. Don't fuck with me.
What are you saying? I'm a funny guy. How? Well, that's Goodfellas, but whatever.
Yeah, funny how.
you're a funny guy. I can't do the impression, but
Spot on. Entertainment as a whole, reviews.
Entertainment as a whole, reviews. Sopranos. Oh, okay. So everybody's watching The Sopranos right now. Sopranos, beloved show. My girlfriend Becca loves it. Everybody I know that's watched it loves it. But everybody's getting back into it right now. And I guarantee this is where we're talking about like video game reviews where it's like a bunch of 9 out of 10s and then like a 0 or like why it's like it's like why it's actually sucks. You know what I mean? And not what you think it is. So I could see that even happening now with The Sopranos because everybody's watching it because the movie's coming out. I guarantee the mutually beloved show by everybody, there's going to be some article or tweet that goes viral that's like, actually The Sopranos is blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's the worst. So my point was being like, even in, because you could Google and you get both worlds. It's the same thing, with entertainment or video games or culture. The whole thing, it all stinks.
Yeah, and like it's fine to have an opinion, but I think it's just more so like it's funny how you could actually get whatever answer you're looking for. You can just search for it and it will appear, which is really kind of what makes conspiracy theories so dicey. I'm not gonna, we don't have the rabbit hole into conspiracy theories again because we've done plenty of that, but that's just really to say like it's pretty easy to feed yourself whatever you want.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's back in the day, if you were looking for a guy to be like, say you hated The Sopranos and you needed like backup in the like late night argument with your boys, you're all sitting around, they're all like, we love it, it's great. And you're like, it actually sucks. And everybody's like, nobody else agrees with you, idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. You'd have to like wait until you like walked around.
Just bump into somebody.
Yeah, you bump into some guy at your office who's like, you know what show I really can't stand? And you're like, do you have 30 minutes? Can you come to my friend's house?
Yeah. I have some Sopranos. Please say Sopranos.
I got some people you got to meet because I've been trying to say this for years. So anyways, nowadays you can just fucking whatever, just Google it and be like, why? That was the big one, Ted Lasso, right? I thought that show was pretty good the first season. The second season comes out. Now it's all a bunch of tweets saying how bad it is and how it's like, positively toxic. I'm like, I can't win.
Well, positively like you're so happy it's negatively affecting, like your positivity is negatively affecting somebody.
It's always something, bro.
Because I've never seen Ted Lasso, but isn't that like the whole thing is that he is just like this beacon of positivity and like good morals and like an anchor for everybody around him.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing. And so now there's people out there being like, this actually sucks, man. And you're like, all right.
Now that he won the Emmy, he's, they're like, he's the worst.
Yeah, it goes to show. And now this is why I want to say this, because as an unsuccessful person, it just goes to show that the second you get successful, you're just going to stink. And I am counteractively fighting against that by not being successful. You know what I mean?
Same with truly, it feels like everything that I have, like every move I make is the wrong one. And it's all a larger strategy to stay out of, negative feedback.
That's right. So this is the show, folks. If you are looking for something that's not successful, that no one's going to shit on, guess what? You're in the right place. you found the right podcast.
I had this thought process. I was thinking about, even if like just a couple random folks show up to this YouTube channel, I was just thinking like, man, we're just going to get some YouTube comments, because the YouTube comments are different, dude. Yeah.
I'll say this, as the first video cast and the first, we've done 30 hours of this show. We know what we're doing.
Yeah. Oh,
so if you think that it's bad, it's too late.
We're not changing.
We're past the point where we'll like retool and become a true crime podcast. Like, it's over. This is the show. There's no going back.
This is the false crime podcast. That's what this is. If you want incorrect facts about crime, come over to This Is the Show, because we got some bombs to drop on you.
Ted Bundy, he didn't do it.
Ted Bundy. What?
Ted Bundy, that's a whole other guy. That guy
is a big animals guy.
Big animals guy. Doesn't kill him. He helps him.
speaking of animals, you should tell your mouse story.
Oh, that's right.
I can't
That's
believe
right. What a
we had a
segue. Here's the best thing that's ever happened. And this happens sometimes on This Is the Show. Sometimes we'll naturally feed into a story and we don't mean to do it. It makes it seem like it's scripted. It's not.
Very much not.
It's very much not. That is a good
Excuse
segue,
me.
though.
Sorry.
So how about this? I had to remove a dead mouse from my house today. I had a mouse in the house, and I had to remove it today. Let me ask you this, Alex. You ever have a mouse in the house?
I have in my New York apartment. I've only ever had mice in New York.
Yeah, it's big
Actually.
New York vibes. They love it here.
It is.
It's called the Big Apple for a reason. They're chewing on that thing. All right.
Big Apple.
All right. I can't win with that riff. Even when I try to revamp it, it still bombs. I can't win.
Oh my God. He said that's why they call it the Big Apple. It's because they keep gnawing on it.
Doesn't even make any sense. I stink.
Oh man. Well, yes. So yes. So that's all to say that I have, but it was only one, and we had, I think we talked about it last time, but we had that management company that would come into the apartment and like do stuff. Like we didn't have to take care of it. We just told them, hey, mouse in the house. And then they sent a guy over, pleasant guy, and he taped up the hole. But you know what the worst part of this was? It was like I had the mouse story. I don't even like, it wasn't even my story. But the whole thing is but so the guy, he tapes up the hole, right? And because it was like the vent for the stove or something. It was like going out the window. So
yeah.
Or not out the window, at the wall. And so he comes to tape it up, but then we could hear the mouse gnawing and just scraping at the tape. It was like like we would be laying there in bed and just hear like a just the scratch.
It's no
horrifying.
Good. Yeah.
So anyways, your mouse.
So similarly, let me take that one again. Hold on.
I'm with you. No, we're here.
Similarly, how do you say it?
Yeah, that's close. Similarly,
I can't do it.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
I can't do it.
No, you got it.
In a similar vein. How about that?
Nice.
That's pretty
nice.
good.
That was good.
So in a similar vein, our mouse came in the house through. I love the mouse in the house. It's fun to say.
It's so cute.
Adorable.
It's so cute.
This mouse, however, not very cute.
Not cute at all.
So how about this? You were talking about the stove, like they get in through the hole where like the pipes go out. This mouse got in our house under the sink, the hole in the wall from the pipes of the sink. You know what I'm saying?
I do. It's always that hole.
So a week ago, my roommate, she texted me and she goes, I think we have a mouse. I saw it under the sink. I saw it scurry.
Oh, I don't know if she saw it.
Yeah. So this is a week ago. And I'm like, okay, so I come home and I take a look and it's not there. It's gone. It probably like freaked out and went back in the wall. You know what I mean?
That's what I would do.
So how about this? A whole week goes by. No mouse. We don't see the mouse. Nothing's happening. It's just like the mouse is like, you know what? It's too that party's a little crowded for my taste.
There's no eggs in these pantries.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it downstairs. So the mouse isn't nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Damn it. I stink tonight. Nowhere to be found. So until today. All right. So we're recording this on Wednesday, the 29th. So it's like just about like 4 days later or 3.5 days later. So I wake up in the morning and I smell that smell. You know that smell? That dead animal smell. The dead animal smell. It's a very specific smell.
It's very recognizable.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh boy. So I look under the sink and I just do a general open. Now there's some stuff down there. There's like, there's some brown paper bags. It's like under the sink stuff. You got under the sink
some
stuff.
Chemicals, a couple
bleach,
grocery
bags, the whole thing. Some rat traps, some roach tablets. Roach tablets are down there. So I open, I don't see anything. I go, all right. but I smell it from my bathroom. In the bathroom, I smell the worst, and I'm like, oh God. But my bathroom's small. It's New York, you know. I mean, it's like the toilet is like 1 inch from the tub. You know, it's a small bathroom. So I'm looking
Right.
around. I don't see it. It's not in the bathroom, and I go, it's dead in the wall. It died in the wall. Which is like, I Google that and I'm like, what do you do when a mouse dies in your wall? And it's like, you just got to wait it out, unfortunately. Like, it's
Wait it out.
well, yeah, it's just going to smell for a little while and then eventually it will decompose and then, you know, let nature take its
That's like
course.
months, man. I'm taking the sheetrock out and getting that little mouse corpse out of there.
But I live in New York. I can't do that. I'd have to call the guy. He'd have to send the other guy. It would be a whole thing. So I'm like, fuck, mouse died in the wall. This stinks. It's just going to smell bad in that area for like God knows how long.
A long time.
Long time. So I'm like, oh God, whatever. And then it starts getting worse. Like, it starts getting stronger. I'm starting to smell it in the kitchen a little bit. And I'm like, huh, God, this is brutal. And then
This is getting intense.
I was like,
Smells.
you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna look underneath the sink one more time. I tell you, this was a good thing that I did it, but also a terrifying thing that happened because I opened the sink under the cabinet under the sink, and I see there's a brown paper bag. And all I do, I have a broom, like an old broom that like I'm about to throw out because I just bought a new one. So I have this old broom, and I push the bag over, and I see, dude, I'm not trying to be like facetious, but like I saw the tail was this long, like a long tail.
No.
And I see the tail, and like
No.
you do that thing where I'm like, in my head, I know that it's dead because I smell it and it's just laying there. But dude, the second I saw that,
But
I
it
was
could
like,
come alive.
dude, I was like, ah, like I was so scared. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So I slammed the door shut and I'm like, oh, like I have like that moment. Open the cabinet up again, move the thing. This time I'm like prepared to see a dead body, to see a corpse.
Right.
So I open it again.
A little mouse corpse.
A little mouse corpse. So I open it. I push the bag all the way over. Dude, it was the biggest mouse I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm talking legitimately this big. And for the folks just listening to the cast, I'm doing like a pretty, like, it's big.
That's huge. Is that from it? Is that from snout to tail?
That's from snout to like butt.
No way, bro. That's a rat. Dog.
I know. That's what I thought. But like, it didn't.
Was
like,
it heavy?
Well, it wasn't really, but it looked, because mice can be big. So like,
you didn't take a photo of it, did you?
No. What am I, some type of creep? I'm not gonna take a
Well,
photo.
I don't know. You could have for reference, you know, and then we could really see it because we could flash a little something on the screen.
Well, maybe I'll add that. Maybe I'll try and find a reference and I'll put it up on the YouTube channel. So for the folks just listening, check out the YouTube channel. This is the show on YouTube.
Check out the YouTube channel for a photo of
a dead mouse. So I'm gonna do it, by the way. I'm gonna edit it in. But so I look at it and I'm like, oh God. And I'm wearing my mask, dude. Shout out to mask. In a moment like this, you love to have the mask on. So I have the mask on, I have gloves on, and I have my other roommate come and help me. We take a shoebox because it's the under the sink drawer. And I was like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use this broom and like sweep it into the shoebox, throw that in a garbage bag and get it out. Dude, it was like, I am a pretty sensitive guy, but like, you know, I know what I got to do. I got to get the mouse out or the rat
get
out.
that out of there.
I can't have fucking Ratatouille living under my sink for the rest of the week. So I'm sweeping it, but dude, I'm gagging the whole time. I haven't had an appetite since this morning. It was disgusting. And my place is clean. That's the crazy part. I got a clean house, but that's fucking New York for you.
Yeah, you could have the cleanest place in all of New York City, and like, if anything, that's probably like appealing. You know, they're like, oh, finally, we're out of these like filthy little, you know, holes and walls and apartments, and they're like, oh, you know, finally, like a clean place for us to shack up in.
It's like a 5-star restaurant to them. They're like, we're eating good tonight, Sally.
Exactly, you know? And they are, because you got all those groceries.
Well, not anymore. That guy moved out.
But
so we sweep them out. We put them in the box, put them in the bag, take them outside, throw it in the trash bin. But dude, it was like, well, I was telling this to Alex before. I was like, serial killers, man. I don't know how they do it. I don't. And Alex said the exact same thing. He was like,
like at the same time. We literally said the same thing at the same time.
I could never in my life after today's experience imagine killing someone like a person and then having to do that. No way. Talk about the Sopranos. Come on. Dude, we're not mafia guys.
Well, it's kind of connected. And this is what it, so, all right. So segue from that to this, which is, excuse me, which is, you're watching the Sopranos, you're seeing them go through all these like, shenanigans and situations where, they're involved in crime of all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? And it makes you think. You're like, could I be this way? It's like, could I rob somebody? Could I because they'll just walk up to and it's so dated, like the stuff they're robbing, because they're like pulling over a truck that's like loaded with DVD players, and they're like, give us the fucking DVD players, and it's like, that would just never happen now. Now it would be hilarious. Like, I don't know, Xboxes or something, but the idea remains the same. But it's funny to watch somebody like show up to a place with like 3 boxes of DVD players, and they were like, I got you this, and everyone's like, where'd you find that? And they're like, I have my sources. It's like, all right.
It's like, dude, you could have just gone to Best Buy, get
yeah.
a rewards membership card. You can get them.
Yeah, although
steal.
But so but it had me thinking, because the whole premise. Well, first of all, have you seen The Sopranos?
No, I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Okay, so you kind of understand. It's like this guy, Tony Soprano, who's going into therapy because he's dealing with panic attacks. Which I did not know that's what the premise. Like I did not know that's what the premise was. I thought it was going to be very kind of like I guess Breaking Bad is really introspective also, but I was saying more like just crime and like mob activity, but there really is this sort of like reflection about how bad Tony Soprano feels for living the life that he's lived his whole, which is like killing people, just making life miserable for so many people. I mean, like there's that scene in, I don't know what episode, it's like episode 8 or something, where he puts a hit out on this guy and then ends up calling it off because he has like a moral dilemma about it, right? Like he's like, the therapy is working and he's like realizing that that's like not a cool thing to do, that he should just let justice handle its, like its own business. Yeah. But so he gets the hit out for this guy, calls it off, and then he ends up getting like super drunk, and like excited and like happy because he's just like, I didn't kill the guy, and it's like, man, what a life. But I have to imagine that happens, like, because a lot of, and I'm no like mob expert, so just take all of this with a grain of salt. I started being interested in the mob about a week and a half ago.
Me and Alex are not experts on anything, by the way, if you're new to the channel, so don't expect expertise.
Absolutely not. But what I will say is, like, I got to imagine that like that's a real thing, like these people who are involved in organized crime that are having these like moral dilemmas where they're like, I don't want to do this, but I gotta, because of like family and street cred and like where I live and everything. Like, do you think that's real? Do you think that probably happens?
I think so, but I think no matter what, I think that's an interesting idea. But I will say in the real world, just because it's a television show, is that's probably happening less. Because I think, to go back to the mouse dilemma today, I think if you're okay doing anything in the violent crime sector, it's probably not all there.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of sociopathy.
The moral compass is a little off, maybe.
Psychopathy, you know what I mean? Like it's a little askew. So I can't imagine. I imagine it does happen, but I do think it happens a lot less, because if you're doing anything that extreme, then you're probably out to sea anyways. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Sorry, the out to sea thing. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know if that's an appropriate saying or not, but I love it. So yeah.
You're out to sea. You're too far gone.
Yeah, you're too far gone. Yeah. It's weird, but as far as TV is concerned, it's a great premise, and I've been enjoying it. Yeah, I'm on season 2, episode 1. So I just wrapped up the first season,
Damn, you're cranking them
I
out.
yeah, well, it's because like I said, I've been looking for a show that I could just binge and just like sit there and like, watch endlessly, which now it's kind of I'm in a weird place with it because I'm like starting a new season. There's like all these new games that have come out that I got to play. So I'm all over the place with, how I'm spending my time, but
I hear you.
But it's there.
Yeah, I mean, there's it's October 1st, so we're about. I have to go to the movies like once a week until fucking January. So
It's true. A lot of movies coming out. What are you seeing next?
Ooh, I'm probably gonna watch that Jake Gyllenhaal 911 operator that came out today. Technically, I'm gonna watch that just because I think it's gonna stink. Because I'm not a big movie in one room the whole time guy. I think it's an interesting premise, but
Is it like it takes place in the dispatch of and he's just is he just on the phone the whole time?
I think so.
Oh, I thought he eventually went there. Like he was like, I'm gonna take matters into my own hands, and then goes to the scene of the crime to handle it himself.
That's what I'm hoping for. But if it's not, I might be like, eh.
Yeah, it's like that movie Vantage Point. Did you ever watch that where it was the same situation, but they played it over 4 different times from different people's perspectives?
No, I never saw it.
Well, I didn't love it. So
yeah, well, that reminds me of Phone Booth. Remember Phone Booth with Colin Farrell?
It's the exact same kind of idea.
That movie's kind of sick though.
But that movie, but that movie did it okay for sure.
Yeah, he's some fashion blogger who gets caught in a phone booth. A hitman's trying to take him out or something. It's a whole thing. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's big 2003 energy, that movie.
There's this whole run of movies from that time period where it's like a blue saturated, like art for the DVD or for the poster, and then red text, like Inception. That's another one where they did that. But there was Phone Booth. There was well, I actually think the Phone Booth had silvery kind of font, but that's all to say that there was a whole string of movies that were just like that. It's ridiculous.
Well, it was that, and then it was green. Everything was green for a while. They all saw The Matrix and were like, "We're doing green for
we got to do the green filter." Yeah,
we got to do green until 2006, and then we'll switch to another filter. Movies be going through filters. They love it. Yeah. Everything was sepia tone in 1993. So,
dude, it really was. Everything was so warm looking. You go back and I watched Grumpy Old Men over Christmas break.
So did I.
Break. Yeah. Well, yeah. Because remember we were like, "This is us."
Yeah, that is us, bro. This is the show. Season 12.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally. But. Yeah. Anyways, there's this whole kind of every movie feels like it was made during autumn, in in the mid-90s. There's that movie called Stepmom with Stepmom. Oh yeah, it's like a drama, about a stepmom. It's got I'm blanking on her name.
Julia Roberts.
No, Susan Sarandon.
Oh, you type in stepmom into Google, some interesting movies come up.
Well, maybe for you. It's going off of recently searched, my guy.
Oh, fuck. I was just trying to make a joke. No, Julia Roberts isn't stepmom. Yeah, Julia Roberts.
Oh, and Susan Sarandon, right?
And Susan Sarandon. Look at that, folks. There you go. There you go.
And I just want to say for the record, Julia Roberts was in Ocean's 11. It doesn't matter. You don't need context into that statement. You just need to know that she was an integral piece of Ocean's 11.
Big piece. How about this? Who do you think directed Stepmom? Given what it looks like, who do you think directed that movie? Don't look it up. I want to see if you could guess. He's directed other movies that you and I love. A few of them.
So it's a guy.
Oh shit! I gave you away. Well, yeah, come on, man. It was the 90s. They weren't letting women direct back then. That only started to happen these days.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, okay.
Hollywood be sexist.
Yeah, true.
Damn, bro, this movie was released on Christmas.
Really?
Yeah.
I told you it was giving me very much autumn fall vibes. I don't I don't even really remember the plot or watching it to begin with, but I sure as hell remember the movie itself.
Well, I'll tell you this, it's on Hulu right now. This could be one of our autumn movie watches, even though nobody's suggesting it.
Yeah. Like, thank
So-
you for emailing in everybody about all these movie recommendations. We're gonna bypass all of them and go straight to Stepmom, starring Julia Roberts and Susan Sarandon. What year did it come out?
1998.
Okay. So the guy who directed that, did he also direct When Harry Met Sally?
No.
Okay. I
But
thought it was going to be.
He's directed other movies that are in the same vein. 90s director, maybe early 2000s was the end of his kind of run.
It's not Chris Columbus, is it?
It is Chris Columbus. I knew
Let's
you were gonna
go,
get it. I knew
baby.
you were gonna get it. Exactly. I was like, Alex knows, bro. We're Columbus guys, not the old Chris Columbus. We're not
Yeah.
those guys.
New Chris Columbus.
I'm talking new Chris Columbus, dude. Which, by the way, what an unfortunate name, by the way. Come on.
Yeah, it's true. And actually, well, it's not Columbus Day anymore. It's Indigenous Peoples Day, but that's coming up in like a week and a half.
Yeah,
So
well,
how about that?
Rightfully so. The original Chris Columbus, we hate. Old
Yeah.
new Chris Columbus, big fans. They should just give him a day. I mean, he gave us Home Alone, the first two Harry Potters, Stepmom. I mean, come on.
Stepmom, the list goes on.
How about giving him a day? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I love that, bro. We should make a new Chris Columbus Day where we just watch his entire filmography once a year.
How about this? Write in. This is the show 69 at gmail.com. I'm going to flash it on the screen. If you want us to watch all of Chris Columbus movies and do it on the show, a yearly thing around Christmas time called Chris Columbus Day, where we do a Chris Columbus rewatch.
Because he really does have the market on like late 90s Christmas vibes, especially the list that you just gave, or like just 90s Christmas vibes, like Home Alone, Stepmom, which you said was released on Christmas Day. We've got Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone, and Chamber of Secrets, which are just very much, Christmas vibes. Like that's
big
like
Christmas vibes.
And we talked about this off the cast, but everyone kind of dogs on the first two Harry Potters is like, they're too childish, whatever. They're so wholesome and like high spirits. It just gets more and more dark as you go on. If you want something light, you got to start there.
1 and
Max,
2 is the way to go.
Yeah. Max is Prisoner of Azkaban, because then, that's just kind of fun and a little spooky, but you still get there's a lot of snow and stuff. So how many Christmas movies has Chris Columbus done?
Well, if we're talking like Christmas movies, he's done Home Alone. Stepmom came out on Christmas. We don't know if it's a Christmas movie, but
did he not do the second Home Alone?
He did. He did Home Alone too. Yep. So Christmas. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. How about this? He did a movie called a little film, maybe the listeners know, called Mrs. Doubtfire. Directed that.
Oh, wow.
How about that? And then he did Bicentennial Man. That's not great.
We know how you feel about that. All right. I happen to think it's a fine movie. It's fun. It's got Robin Williams in it. Okay.
And then he directed most recently, you ready for his most recent movie? 2020, The Christmas Chronicles Part 2, the one where Kurt Russell is like Hot Santa, the Netflix movie.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about this?
Of course, The Christmas Chronicles. Yeah. Isn't there a second one?
Yeah, he directed it. That's what I was saying. He directed Part 2.
Chris Columbus is the Christmas King. Why have we not pieced this together?
Chris Columbus, more like Chris Christmas. Or no, shit, I should have said Christmas Columbus.
Columbus. That's what I thought you were going to go for. Chris Christmas.
Brutal. That's the worst sounding name I've ever heard in my life. Chris.
Hey, everybody,
Christmas.
I'm Chris Christmas.
Everybody's going to think you have a stutter. What'd you say?
I was just going to say, it sounds like I'm trying to say Christmas. Chris Christmas.
What is your name? Chris Christmas. Are you messing with me? No, I'm trying to say it's Chris Christmas.
Speaking of Christmas, well, okay, no, actually, hold on. Before we go there, we're talking about Christmas. We haven't even touched on fall, and it's like October
1st.
I know, which amazing. But I was just gonna say, to wrap up the whole Chris Columbus thing, is that would actually be a fun like segment, to do something with like where we're like, watching his movies, just like I said. That could be something.
That could be something. That's what I was saying. Chris Columbus Day, right in. This is the show 69@gmail.com. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is the show podcast or whatever it's going to be called. We'll figure it out. It'll be in the show notes. We'll post it all the stuff. You'll see. But
so, no, you go ahead.
No, you got something. I'm talking.
You'd be surprised, but all I was gonna say is because Chris Christmas has the corner on the Christmas movies, right?
Yeah,
so we've got that kind of locked in. Who's like the go-to for the fall movie? Like who's the director that's just banging out fall movies? Because I personally I don't know if I have one other than oh my god, is it Nora Ephron who did Sleepless in Seattle? And well, I think she wrote this. Hold on, I gotta fact. Hold on.
Well, while you're doing that, I was gonna say that maybe no. As a director, no. It's like usually directors only make like one autumn movie. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like they're not like banging out all autumn movies. So like,
well, yes, and that's why I was gonna say I actually do think it might be Nora Ephron because she didn't direct it, but she wrote and produced When Harry Met Sally.
mm-hmm.
You can't think of a more fall autumn cover than the poster of that movie. Okay,
Sure.
So you got that. You've got Sleepless in Seattle.
Dude, that Cranberries song in the beginning.
Oh,
or no, that's You've Got Mail.
That's You've Got Mail. But she also did You've Got Mail.
Oh well, I think we found our winner then.
So I think it might be I think it might be her. She also did a movie called Hanging Up, which was Walter Matthau's last movie, and I don't know why I know that, but I do know that.
Well, how about this? I was going to say potentially autumn director could be Rob Reiner, who directed When Harry Met Sally. He also directed this movie called Rumor Has It. Have you seen this? The 2005.
I have.
Rudd. It's not a good movie, but it's
fun.
It's a little autumny. There's some autumn stuff in it. And then he also directed what's it called? Stand By Me. That's a pretty autumn movie. They're on the train tracks.
Happens in the middle of summer.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck. Well, I take it back.
Because they're odd. Because they're they're getting into no good.
The Princess Bride.
Break.
Is that a fall movie?
That could be fall because like the kid, it all starts out with like the kid who's sick in bed and his grandpa comes over to read him a book. And there's just something like intrinsically tied in my mind to fall and being sick in bed, like there's but I gotta be honest with you. I love a little head cold. I don't know what that is. I just not like a crazy head cold, but just a little. I know this is a take, but just hear me out. Just that kind of, but just like, all right. So just that kind of feeling of like your head's a little stuffed up. You're like, all I want to do is watch movies, which like, I'm just looking for an excuse to sit on the couch and watch movies. So maybe that's it. I don't know, but there's just something like almost, I don't know, just like comforting, where you're like, all I can do is sit here and drink soup and eat these gummy bears,
Sure. No, I mean, I was going to say, I'm a big tea guy when it comes to the chillier months.
Oh, true.
How about the tea and the cough drop? That combo when you got the head cold? Ooh, baby. And you're watching
because you get that menthol. Yeah, you get that menthol, and then like the hot tea goes in and it kind of like burns a little bit, but in like a good way.
Clears out the sinuses. Well, how about this? My go-to sick day movie, like whenever I'm sick.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Is Rounders. I own it.
Of course.
I bought it on fucking YouTube in my
DVD.
YouTube account. Yeah, I just have Rounders because I know that whenever I'm not feeling that well, specifically on like a cold November head cold day, dude, Rounders is on the TV. And that's a big fall movie. So it kind of correlates in that way.
That is a big fall movie, actually. That's a really good call.
It's super fall. My God.
Yeah.
The whole thing is kind of orange. The orange tint really works in that movie.
Which again, that's how we got here. All those early 90s movies had that orange tint to it. Good Will Hunting, same thing.
Yeah, Good Will
Although
Hunting.
that was like
Founders.
96 or something, I think. But
I was gonna say this about Rob Reiner. Ooh, my hand. That's fun.
it's like 3D almost.
Yeah, this is the show live in action. But I was gonna say this about Rob Reiner. He directed. So you said Stand by Me is a summer movie. You're right.
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally, big autumn movie.
Yeah.
And he directed Misery, winter movie. This guy's doing all the movies.
He's doing the seasons.
He's doing the seasons. Rumor has it it's probably a spring movie. Now that
I was gonna
say,
I was gonna say that might, that might be better classified as a spring movie. He was also in Sleepless in Seattle.
he's an actor in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was an actor. That was just
because so what's the whole premise? Tom Hanks moves to Seattle from Chicago because his wife died and he's trying to get away from the city where everything reminds her or him of her.
Mm-hmm.
And so he moved, and he's an architect. Okay. So he's like, I'm thinking about Seattle. And then it like cuts to them in the airport. This was back when you could just walk someone up to the gate at the airport. Do you remember that? I have one memory of flying where my grandparents like walked to the gate and like send us off. That's a for 90s kids only moment. But what was I saying? Oh, so anyways, Tom Hanks, an architect, and then
water bottle.
Nah, it's all right. It's a little water bottle now with that little dent on the side. So and anyways, this is all to say he moves as an architect, Tom Hanks does, and then one of his coworkers or like a guy he interacts with is Rob Reiner. And so he's kind of like talking through his like lady problems with Rob Reiner. He's kind of like he's like the secondary kind of like comedic buffer between Tom Hanks's seriousness and him trying to get out, a relationship or out of this kind of, misery of having just lost his wife.
Well, it's like Dave Chappelle in You've Got Mail. Dave Chappelle's the friend in You've Got Mail.
That's exactly Rob Reiner's role in Sleepless in Seattle. That's a perfect example.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, now I want to watch both those movies tonight, bro.
Yeah.
Autumn is here and I am ready to watch movies I've already seen before.
I mean, check it out. I'm going to try to not spill this, but we got the Trader Joe's vanilla pumpkin.
Vanilla pumpkin. That's fun.
Yeah, it is.
How's it smell?
So good. That is the smell of like just late fall, early winter, when it's getting real dark outside, which by the way, that was the first thing you and I ever talked about on the podcast. Was you asked me what my favorite thing about fall was, and my response was how dark it gets early on in the day. That actually remains true. The sun's about to set right now. It's like 5:15, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean the sun's down over in my neck of the woods. It's nighttime, bro. I get, you know what it is? It kind of exhausts you. But don't look at me like that.
I'm not looking at anything.
Don't give me that face.
All right.
But it kind of gives you like it kind of gives you like summer fatigue by like late August, early September, where you're like, all right, with the sun now, you get it too much. Too much of anything it's no good,
I agree, with the exception of rain. I mean, I love rain. It could rain every single day of my life, and I would just be,
well, you get floods.
All good. Well, I get like it's not not torrential. I just like a light mist and overcast. I'm not talking like.
You'd love Seattle.
I would love Seattle. Yeah.
You'd be sleeping in Seattle.
I would be sleeping in Seattle.
I'd be sleepless in Seattle. You'd be sleeping in Seattle.
Yeah. All that thunder would be scaring you.
Dude, I do get scared of thunder. You know that.
I do.
You should write a sequel to Sleepless in Seattle called Sleeping in Seattle. It's about a guy who just gets married, moves to Seattle, and loves it.
And then just loves it. And like that's just no conflict, no story arc, just him. Well, because like what are those movies called where like nothing happens? It's like your least favorite like subgenre of movies.
Oh, mumblecore?
Mumblecore. I could make a mumblecore movie called Sleeping in Seattle.
I'd watch that movie if it was pure mumblecore. Well, the problem with mumblecore is it always turns into like I got feelings for you, and they have like one scene in the end where they actually act, and you're like, why weren't you acting the whole time? It's a whole thing, but it's
Yeah.
not for me. It's not a genre for me. I'm sure it's fine. It's got good movies, the whole thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
Like
everybody likes, I like it too.
like Squid and the Whale. Is that a mumblecore movie?
No, that's a Noah Baumbach movie. He's the king.
But I feel like he might be like on like the, and I could be wrong here, but but I completely lost my thought. Oh, but I feel like maybe like Noah Baumbach kind of like started that like energy behind mumblecore movies where like it was very slow paced, very like dialogue heavy. The dad's always a drunk. Like it's just like the family's shambles. I know that's not what would like necessarily define a mumblecore movie, but
well, I think what makes a mumblecore movie is that it's like improvised dialogue between the actors and stuff, like trying to play it as most to reality as they can. But
is it actually improvised a lot of the time?
Yeah, some of them do.
Oh,
that.
wow. I didn't know that.
But what I think is it comes across that way is the reason Noah Baumbach comes across that way, in my opinion, is because he is just a great writer at writing real scenes that are actually well written and not like, because you watch some of these mumblecore movies and you're like, oh my God. You watch
what's happening?
You watch a Noah Baumbach movie, it's like great dialogue and like a great scene. I mean, the scene in Marriage Story, I always quote it, but the scene in Marriage Story where he's with the lawyer, with the Alan Alda character, and he's all stressed because he's losing, and he starts telling him the joke, and he goes, I'm sorry, am I paying for this joke? That's a great written scene. That's not a mumblecore scene. That's like peak writing right there. So I think
true.
Noah Baumbach's a king.
Yeah, you're right. Did he also, or maybe he just I'm getting all my wires crossed now, but Francis Ha, because we've talked about that movie a lot. Did he produce it? Oh yeah, he directed it. Okay.
Written by Greta Gerwig, The Love of My Life.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it was written and directed by her, produced by him, but it was directed by him. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Directed by him, written by her, starring her. One of my favorite movies. I could watch that movie forever. I love that movie. That's one of those movies where I watch it and I'm like, I hope this movie's lasts 15 hours. I could watch this for the next fucking, but again, great writing. It's a story about a friendship and moving on and relationships and growing up. And it's like really well written. It's a good story arc.
Yeah, it is for sure. That was like the first movie that Shelby and I I think either watched together. No, well, cause she recommended that I watch it. That was the whole thing. She was like, you should check out this movie. It's really good. And then for a date when we lived in New York, they were showing it at like this open air theater on like this rooftop. It was like Rooftop Films, I think is what it's called, which, easy to remember. And yeah, they were like showing it and it started to kind of like sprinkle, like rain a little bit. And they kept showing it. And it was it was an incredible moment for me.
Oh man, that's you know what else though? Noah Baumbach. I found this out. I had never, speaking of autumn movies, if we're talking seasonal movies, dude, I watched Fantastic Mr. Fox for the first time like 2 weeks ago. That's right up there.
Fall.
Wes Anderson might be an autumn king potentially.
I think you're right.
The early Anderson. I feel like he's strayed away from it lately, but there's some early Anderson like Bottle Rocket and Rushmore, and Fantastic Mr. Fox. He was on a big autumn thing for a while there. Moonrise Kingdom, very autumn.
Yeah, even like the movies that aren't directly related to that, like Darjeeling Limited. That's my favorite Wes Anderson movie.
I never seen that one.
Oh, it's my favorite one. Yeah, I don't necessarily know that it's like critically acclaimed or anything, but I love the story. I love the acting. And I love Adrian Brody, is it? Yeah. I get him and Adam Brody confused, but anyways, there's something about his movies where it could be filmed in like the dead of summer and it's just still kind of has like that autumn feel to it. Like this movie literally takes place while three brothers are on a train ride. While three brothers are on a train ride across India, and
it's autumn.
It's fall. It's so sunny out the entire time, Yeah,
but he loves it. He exudes autumn. It shoots out of his pores into the lens.
You know what I really think it is, and I could be wrong here, but you know what I think it is?
What?
I think there's something about, well, just like his color choices in general, that's huge. But the fonts, he like the Wes Anderson fonts are crazy. Everything about it just feels like, I don't know what it is. It's just winter. It's fall. I'm cold just looking at the words.
Yeah, I put on a fleece if I turn on that movie. I watched Fantastic Mr. Fox. It was 90 degrees outside. I was chilly in my room with the shades shut.
Yeah.
I mean, he exudes it. So all right, he's the autumn king. I think we figured it out a little halfway through. Right in. This is the show 69 at gmail.com. If you have another autumn director that you would like to recommend, because we are doing one of your movie suggestions, one of your October movie suggestions. We have a bunch of emails we've read. Me and Alex are going to figure out which one we're going to do. We're going to watch it live on the cast with commentary. So that way you folks can line it up with your audio and watch it at the same time. We'll figure out which movie we're going to do. That's the other thing. Autumn movies, the horror movies are like all autumn movies, most of them.
Yeah.
You know, they're all October. We're talking about Chris. What was the one we were talking about?
Chris Christmas?
No, not Chris Christmas. Chris Christmas. It came up on the cast. I watched it for the first time, remember? I just rented it by myself. It's like claymation. I can't think
of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like that.
Yeah.
That's like a whole
Tim Burton.
Another autumn king. Beetlejuice.
Big autumn king. Yeah, that's true.
Batman. I mean, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
You can't win with that guy.
No, you can't.
If you're looking for a summer movie, don't go to a Tim Burton movie.
I'm trying to think. The closest like summer feeling Tim Burton movie that I could or that I could think of would probably be like Alice in Wonderland, maybe. And that's like, I'm kind of digging through like movies that he made, but I don't know if, I don't know how people felt about that personally, but that's like maybe one, like a spring flick that could come to mind. But yeah, Autumn King for sure. One of many. Like what? Tim Burton, Nora Ephron, who else did we say? Wes Anderson. Yeah.
Wes Anderson.
All three of them.
And then Rob Reiner's the seasonal king. He just makes one for every season.
He's just the king of all seasons.
Well, I was going to say maybe not summer, but like, what movie just gives me allergies? Like I just start sneezing when I watch it, like spring allergies.
I literally spit. I was not ready. A movie just gives me allergies.
But Edward Scissorhands, you know why? There's a lot of grass. He's
doing all that yard work, mixing up the ball.
Dude, that movie is April. That movie's big April, May vibes. I start getting all sneezy when I watch that movie.
Yeah.
He's cutting up the grass. Doing the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. It's because of all of the yard work. I'm like scanning my brain trying to think of like other movies where they're doing excessive yard work. And I'm really actually struggling. Like, is there a movie where
that's the big one? That's the big like yard work movie.
Yeah, like that's just about it.
Every scene there's like a hoe. You know what I mean?
Well, and he's got shears for hands also.
Yeah.
He's just
which, by the way, tough life,
Yeah, well, that's why he's got all those little slashes on his face and he can't put on any clothes.
Well, let me ask you this. Scissor hands or scissor feet? You have to pick one. Which one are you going with?
So I'm going scissor feet all day, every day.
Scissor feet? I think I'm going to do scissor feet too. Because if it's just like your leg and then all of a sudden you have scissors that sit flat, that's not so bad.
Which is like what that was for Edward Scissor. Like the scissors started on its, like, it wasn't like the whole arm and then also
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in for that because I mean, I'm a size 9 in shoes, so I'd love to go up a few pairs or, a few sizes, honestly. Like,
well, you would get the kid scissors, the little kid scissors.
The rounded ones.
Those would be your scissor feet. You'd have the little ones.
Bro.
I'd have
the rounded scissor feet. I want big feet. I want big scissor feet.
I'd probably have the medium scissors, the classic staples.
There's no way, dude. There's no way. You're rocking 13s over there.
I don't have 13. I got 12.
That's practically 13.
Well, you know what scissors I'd get? You know those old scissors that every household had when you were growing up, where they're like they got the steel black handles and they're all steel. Do
Oh,
you know those?
I know exactly which ones you're talking about.
They
It was the
always
black
cut.
handle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
black handle with the
With the silver, with the silver
yeah,
slicers.
and the black is always a little bit chipped. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
And rusted a
pre-chipped.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's what I would have. I'd have those. Those would be my scissors. You'd be walking around
With
with
a little like plastic handled rounded tip scissors.
arts and crafts scissors over there.
Yeah. Looking like the only thing I can cut is construction paper and string.
Oh man, I tell you what, scissor feet changes the game when it comes to kicking.
Oh, yeah. Kickball's out.
Kickball,
First and
dude,
foremost.
soccer, forget about it. No way. You're
No.
popping the ball, everybody hates you.
It's true. Yeah. You got no game. You got no
No.
game with scissor feet.
But scissor
Trying to
hands, you
think
can't
of
play
like
basketball.
What?
With scissor hands, you can't play basketball or
Yeah.
tennis.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not really.
I mean, the only career you can have is a barber or a yard work guy. That's all you can do. What?
I was just thinking back to you saying, you know what movie gives me allergies?
That's probably the stupidest
And-
thing I've ever said on the show.
And it was like a Rolodex where someone was just flipping through trying to think of any movie where there's like excessive yard work. And
And
of
then
course,
I said
Edward
it, and
Scissorhands.
then you.
I was like,
immediately
of
got it.
course.
Yeah, dude. It's always, and you know what else that movie doesn't that movie have like bright blue skies? You know what I mean?
Incredibly bright. Yeah.
So it's like that early spring, the greens and the blues. It's a lot. There's flowers
Yeah.
everywhere. It's a little. I would need a Mucinex if I'm in the Edward
Oh,
Scissorhands world,
for
dude.
sure. Yeah. Honestly, same. I have terrible allergies.
Well, that's the great thing about fall.
No
That
pollen.
word. No pollen.
It's all dying,
It's
which
all
is
done,
nice.
dude. We love it. The
Yeah.
rain, it knocks them off. You're sleeping in Seattle. I'm walking around with my construction scissors feet, not getting picked up for soccer once more. You know,
Again.
going undrafted for the Team USA again.
You know, I'll tell you,
What?
like thinking about fall, just to wrap up here because we're getting close to time. But thinking
Are we?
about fall, yeah, we're like like an hour 10, but we went on for like 8 minutes trying to get the audio, doing some
True.
claps. But what I was just gonna say really quick is thinking about autumn and like that feeling of like, it's getting a little bit darker. The street lights are coming on. Like what else? It's just like generally colder out. My favorite Elliott Smith line, and it reminds me of fall. It's not like directly related to fall, but the line where he says the street's wet, you can tell by the sounds of the cars. That just that whole like phrase just like feels like fall to me. I'm like, that is a fall sentence if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, no, I mean that's like speaking of Elliott Smith, big fall artist for me because he was heavily featured on the Good Will Hunting soundtrack.
Yeah.
And you know that song No Name Number 3, you know that one?
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
the song after the How Do You Like Them Apples that he rides the train and they're like whatever, and they're all like shaking each other after that scene, and then that song's playing. I play that song walking around New York. I remember that was a big
It's magical.
How about this? I went on a date with Leno for the listeners. Nobody knows what that means, so it's fine. But I went on a date with this girl that I was really into, and the date went well, and I left, and it was like November, and I left, and I was walking home, and I put my headphones on, put on a shuffle, my autumn playlist. That song came on. That was the most in love with New York I've ever been. I normally hate this city,
Which is
but
saying something for Casey.
I was going to say, I normally despise this place, but that moment I was like, dude, it got me. I was
You're like, I'm here right now.
These are the moments that the kids talk about.
Yeah. Those little magical moments where they leave Nebraska and like they think that that's what's going to happen to them. You actually had that moment, which is very rare.
It is very rare. And it's rare.
It's so rare. I only had it once the whole time I lived there, and it was literally on somebody's roof where I was just like, I'm on a roof in New York City. You know,
Yeah.
it was like, because those roofs will get you. If there's one thing to make you feel like you're in New York, head to a roof.
Got to get on the roof. I got a roof.
You do have a roof, and that's a great roof.
It's a good roof. You can see the Chrysler building.
When's the last time you've been on that roof? Because I don't hear about it, and I don't see pictures of your roof the way that you used to send them to me a couple years ago. So it makes me feel like you haven't been up there since at least the last time you threw a house party, which was like fall winter 2019. I could be wrong.
No, I think I went up to the roof a lot last fall because my friends would come over and we'd hang on the roof because it was COVID and none of us had a vaccine. So we'd go up on the roof and we'd, that way it could be an open air and outside and whatever. So we did it a bunch then.
Wow.
And then we got the
great
vaccines roof and we're hanging inside. Come on.
Email Casey, show up to his house and ask to see the roof. He'll let you in every single time. No problem.
Yeah. I won't get scared and call the cops at all.
No, Casey's never been scared a day in his life.
No, dude, I'm
He's locked in.
Yeah, what Alex said, I couldn't come up with something. Christmas. What do you want from me? Trying my best. So we had, how about this? Before we wrap up, we had a couple good moments. We had Edward Scissorfeet, and then we had the Christmas thing.
Chris Christmas.
Those could be clips. Those could be big
true.
clips. We got clips.
A big clip.
This is what's the king about having the video. Do you want me to do the plugs?
Plug them up.
All right, folks. So why don't you just do this right now? Go to our YouTube channel and just see what it's called. But in the meantime, while he's doing that, this is our first video cast, episode 30. Happy Friday. Glad you guys stuck with us. Glad you have migrated over to the YouTube channel. We love all of our listeners. We love you more than anything. If you want to get in touch with us, write in. This is the show 69@gmail.com. The polls are still open for October movie, the one you want us to watch. We have a lot of suggestions. We would love some more. This is the show 69@gmail.com. Email us. You can email us about the random listener or the listener random topic challenge, which we are always down to do. It always generates some of our best episodes. We love it. So email us with that, or just email us, tell us that you're listening and enjoying the show. We'll read it on the cast. We love you. Also, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts. This is the show with Casey and Alex. It's right up there. By the way, Alex, when you search for it on Spotify, it comes up. It's like the main thing that pops up. So
we won, baby.
We won. We put out 30 episodes.
By pure persistence and force of will.
We did it.
We beat those British. We love you. I love your country. I found out I'm like 40% English. You have no idea. Shelby was like, yeah, most white people are. And I was like, no, but I am also. I was very happy about this. Anyways, that's all to say. This is the show. We won the name. Okay. Yeah. So
suck it, British cucks. So we love you. Right into the show.
We love you.
We love you. No, I still don't write into the show. But anyways, so search us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Share it with a friend, by the way. If you're a listener and you got a guy at work who seems like a regular guy, seems kind of nervous, is scared of stuff, is into movies, is just a regular sounded guy, send him this podcast, or girl, or lady, or woman, or your parents, or your grandmother, your grandfather. Share it with whoever you think will like it. We do a little bit of something for everybody. And then also you can find us at This Is the Show podcast on Instagram. This is the show 69 on Twitter. And Alex, what is our YouTube channel?
I don't have it with you. So it's a huge string. It's a random assortment of numbers and letters. I don't know how to not make it that, but it will, because it's like youtube.com/channel/jargon, you know?
But what's the name of our YouTube account?
This is the show.
Oh, so just look up This Is the Show. And then
that's it. I thought we were trying to look for the URL, like youtube.com/blah.
Oh, no.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
So it's just This Is the Show.
So This Is the Show on YouTube. Look it up. If you have trouble finding it, maybe if you're looking for this episode and you're an audio listener and you want to see the video for this one, just type in like episode 30 Alex, Casey, there will be some tags. It's filed under it's filed under
the
comedy.
SEO's got to build over time. You know?
It's filed under comedy and baseball. So those are the two tags you can search.
Dude, okay, just really quick. Hold on. Before that just reminded me, because I was telling somebody, I talked to you about this. I was telling somebody about our podcast.
Yeah.
And they opened up Spotify and they were like, because I told them all about like what it was and everything. And then they opened it up and they were like, it says it's about baseball. And I died laughing. I was like, yeah, it does. We have never talked about baseball ever on this podcast. And we never will.
I was going to say, and we won't ever.
We won't. Yeah. This is a promise to you, the listeners. We will not. This is not a baseball. Do I own Mets gear? Yes. Does Casey own Mets gear? Yes. Will we talk about them? Never. This is not a Mets cast.
No, get out of here. What are you, nuts? But anyways, those are the plugs. Alex, where can they follow me at Casey McGowan with 2 N's on Instagram and Twitter, the whole thing.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Alaska AALASKAA. I'm on there all the time talking about esports and talking about art, plugging our podcast, all sorts of stuff. So stop on by, give us a give us a follow. As always, we love doing this for you. We're doing video now, which we're so stoked about. So we're only gonna see more improvements here. We're going to add more art. We're going to add little like stinger transitions and all sorts of stuff. So, a lot of stuff coming, but we just got to get the foundation and then we'll grow from there. So, with that, this has been episode 30 of This Is the Show. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Alex Webb.
I'm Casey McGowan.
We'll see you next time.
We love you.